Hi, I'm Jenna, and I'm going to tell you how I screwed up my life over a boy, so you don't make the same mistake as me. It all started a couple months ago when I met Matt. Matt was the new guy at school. He started midterm. When I first saw him walk into chemistry class, it was like the whole world just stopped, like in the movies or something. He was tall, good looking, and had the most amazing eyes. I couldn't believe it when our teacher told him to pair up with me in class. At first, I was so shy, I could barely talk to him. But after a couple of lessons, we started to talk more and more, and after a while, I got less nervous. He just had a way of making me feel really comfortable. And he said he felt comfortable around me. He said I was the only one he could talk to about things. He told me he had moved towns with his mom, who's a single parent, and that I was his only friend here. Me and Matt started to spend all of our free time together after school. One day, we were hanging out at the park, and he just leaned in and kissed me. It felt so right. It was like we were meant to be. But one day, Matt was being really quiet. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me he had found out that he and his mom might be moving again. She was struggling to pay the rent on their house, and they might have to move away to another town. That would mean that he couldn't see me anymore. I didn't know what to say. I had just met the love of my life, and then I find out that I might lose him? I had to do something. And then I had an idea of what I could do. My mom and dad are pretty bad at using computers. Sometimes dad would ask me for help with his online banking. I even knew where he wrote down the password he used to log in. So one night when they were in bed, I went onto the computer and looked at their account. They had some money in a savings account they said was my university fund. But I didn't even know if I wanted to go to university. And besides, that wasn't important to me. What was important was Matt. So I moved the savings from their account to mine. It was as good as my money anyway, and they probably wouldn't even realize it was missing. The next day, I withdrew the money and gave it to Matt in an envelope. He was really surprised and so happy that he would get to stay with me. He told me I was the best girlfriend ever and that it would really help him and his mom. Over the next few days, I started to see less and less of Matt. He told me that he was busy helping his mom and couldn't see me after school for a few days. I asked him if something was wrong, and he told me that there wasn't, that it was all in my head. But then something really bad happened. I came home one night to find Mom sitting on the sofa crying. Mom and Dad were planning to buy a new washing machine. They wanted to use some money from the savings account, but they were shocked to see that their card got rejected. Dad was so angry. I hadn't seen him like that before, and when he went to the bank, he figured out what happened. It felt so awful to see Mom cry. They told me that the money in that account wasn't just my university fund. It was their life savings. And now it was gone. I refused to tell them what I had done with the money. So they grounded me. They took my phone and told me that it would be a long, long time until I was forgiven. That wasn't the worst thing, though. Mom told me that she was so disappointed in me, and she started blaming herself as a parent for my own mistake. The next day, I was desperate to talk to Matt. At break, I waited in the yard to talk to him, to tell him how much trouble I was in, but I couldn't see him. I looked for him around the school for ages until I saw him by the bike sheds. He was smoking with some boys I didn't know he hung out with, and I didn't even know Matt smoked. I went over to speak to him, but they didn't see me. Then I realized they were talking about me. I stood back and listened to their conversation. Matt wasn't just talking about me. He was laughing at me and bragging about how much money he had. He told them it was all from his dumb girlfriend. He told them how he had lied and said his mom was poor, and how I had been so thick that I believed him. I started crying. I couldn't help it. I couldn't believe that I loved someone who was that cruel. Then he saw me. He looked shocked, but not shocked that I was upset, shocked that he had been caught out. I didn't know what to say to him, so I ran away. That was the last time I talked to Matt. That was a couple of months ago now, and things are still pretty bad. I got a part-time job on the weekends flipping burgers. It's hot, sweaty, and I stink of fried food. But I need the money. I've told Mom and Dad I'll pay back every penny I stole from them, even if it takes me forever. I still see Matt at school, but I don't speak to him. He's going out with another girl now. I hope she isn't as stupid as I was. But the good thing is, Mom and Dad are a lot less angry. Eventually, I told Mom why I had stolen the money. She was angry at first, Then she told me at least I learned a lesson. And she's right. I have. The next boy I go out with, I will make sure that I get to know better and really trust.